As we begin this journey today, may we find the ability to appreciate the gentle brushstrokes of color and hue in each other's presence. May we see that the difference each of us hold tight to our chest is what makes our small towns another block in the crazy quilt that is our existence. And that is what this gravel road is about. It is to take your mind out away from the pollution of the city lights, out away into the country, out away where you can see every star in the heavens, out away where you can't begin to count all of the fireflies, out away where the air is filled with the smell of newly mown hay, and you swear you can hear the corn growing. Out away from the buzzers and beeps of cell phone games to a place where you can hear a male cardinal calling for its mate, or a baby calf or lamb calling for its mother. Out away from all the noise to a place of silence and serenity. Out away to where you can hear not only what your friends are saying, but also to have the time to ponder and to reply. Out away to have simple conversations. We have forgotten that when you are talking, you're only repeating the things you already know. But when you listen to what others have to say, that's when you're learning. So I want to take a moment here to thank Leonard for his enthusiasm and his encouragement. And I want to thank Andrea and Dave and Al for hearing my ideas for this show and not thinking me entirely insane. I want to thank the musicians who offer up their talents to entertain you for a while. I want to thank you, your fine city, for offering this beautiful little theater to be our home base for a while. I want to thank all of you who may have purchased a sponsorship advertisement to get this thing rolling, and especially to those of you who have taken the time out of your busy schedules to come out and watch us play and maybe escape the routine. Now, will I be irreverent at times? Of course, that's probably guaranteed. In fact, I will probably manage to find a way to offend each and every one of you equally by the time we're all done. And now it's time for me to introduce a couple new sponsors for our show.
Bridget's Pies, have a wonderful taste. Bridget's Pies, don't let them go to waste.
Out on the intersection where Main Street meets the highway sits one of the busiest places in town. There on the northeast corner, cars and bicycles, moms with baby strollers, and all sorts of people out for their daily walk are gathered. It's summertime, so the picnic tables and umbrella-covered patio tables are out as well. And inside, a huge glass and stainless steel display case is lined with hundreds of slices of homemade pie. Booths in bright red Naugahyde reflect off clean white Formica tables. The floor is red and white linoleum square tiles, and shiny chrome coat racks on either side of the front door now sit empty. The place is an old converted gas station. One of the repair bays is now lined with ovens, and a room in the back that once housed ice-making machines is a cold storage pantry with shelves full of pies ready to bake for the next day's business. Bridget and her busy bees, Barb, Belinda, Bonnie, Brandy, and Marlene, take turns going in early to get things started, and by 6 a.m. when you drive by, you can begin to smell the aroma of apples and cinnamon and sugar melding together inside of a golden handmade crust. The selection of treats is seasonal, of course. Apples of several different varieties, cherries and strawberries and rhubarb as they come into season, blueberries and raspberries with fine-cut latticework tops abound. Most of the ladies each claim a favorite. Recipes from all the area church cookbooks going back to each of their respective grandmothers have been laminated and are kept on a lazy Susan atop the middle of the long prep table kept back in the baking room. Each of the ladies has made a valiant attempt at making a sour cream raisin pie for me, the kind my grandmother used to make, and I must admit that several of them have been pretty darn close. Bridget finally broke down and used the double boiler to make the filling like I had told her for hers, and I would have to say she may be the winner. She's a stubborn German girl, a tall, beautiful blonde with a hint of red in her hair and luminescent green eyes. And she's darn near pretty enough to be three women. And when she sets her mind to something, it's got to be good. And it's almost time for the county fair, which means the shop will again be featuring homemade ice cream from the 4-H kids from her old club. So stop on down and have a slice.
Bridget's pies, have a wonderful taste. Bridget's pies, don't let them go to waste.
No, sir. There's a new sandwich place coming down to the old TV repair shop just down the street from all those pies.
There's a new cafe in town that makes you feel better. There's a new cafe in town that makes you feel better. Serving fish and fries, 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 fish and fries and fish.
Jolene called to tell me that her hubby John and his brother Mike just returned from a fishing trip out on Lake Michigan and brought back nearly 130 pounds of fresh salmon. So stop on down to the Mayo Clinic this week for fresh salmon patties on freshly baked buns from their ovens. All the lettuce and tomatoes, radishes, and other ingredients used on their sandwiches is locally grown and guaranteed fresh. And there's always also going to be 3 selections of fresh homemade soup every day, so to go along with the entire sandwich menu. So stop on down to the Mayo Clinic and tell them I said hi. And finally, our last new sponsor is Calvin and Sandy Cohn from Cohn's Auction Services.
You can find a lot of stuff at Cohn's Auction Services.
You know, folks, if you want to come out on top, sometimes you might want to bring in a ringer to help out your cause. And that's exactly what Cohn Auction Services will do for you, literally. Back in '93, Calvin was the national horseshoe pitching champion. He went through all of the state competitions and then the regionals with nary a person even coming close to him. And at the nationals, at the finals in Cincinnati, he breezed through the quarterfinals and then ran into a buzzsaw of a competitor from Wyoming who showed up with custom-made shoes that were all chromed and tricked out. But Cal dug in his heels and was finally able to come back from being 3 down to capture the title going away. So now, whenever Cal is doing an auction and he brings down his gavel and says, "Sold!" Sandy takes an old bell she found and she rings it and yells out,
"That's another ringer!"
So next time you
Find a lot of stuff at Cohn's Auction Services.
that's another ringer. So next time you have something to take to the monthly consignment auction in the gym out at the old school on the edge of town, be prepared to hear that bell. That's Cohn Auction Services.
It's a ringer.
Well, I'm looking forward to this.
Dogs and cats, living together. Dogs and cats, sharing a home. Dogs and cats, living together. Dogs and cats are my favorite thing.
And now we present to you the diary of a dog and a cat. 8 a.m. Dog food, my favorite thing.
Day 863 of my captivity.
9:30 a.m. A ride in the car. It's my favorite thing.
My captors continue to taunt me with bizarre little dangling objects.
9:50 a.m. Ooh, a walk in the park. It's my favorite thing.
They all dine lavishly on fresh meat, while the other inmates and I are given some pasty form of hash or some sort of dried nugget. Ugh.
Oh, 10:30 a.m. I got my belly rubbed and got petted from head to toe. It's my favorite thing.
Although I make my contempt for these rations perfectly clear, I nevertheless must eat something in order to keep up my strength.
Oh, 12 p.m. Milk bones! My favorite thing.
The only thing that keeps me going is my dream of escape. In an attempt to disgust them, I once again vomit on the carpet.
1 p.m. I played out in the yard, and you know it, it's my favorite thing.
Today I decapitated a mouse, and I dropped its headless body at their feet. I had hoped that this would clearly demonstrate my capabilities. However, they merely made condescending comments about what a good little hunter I was. Bastards.
3 p.m. I stood at the front door and I wagged my tail and I barked at the kids across the street. It's my favorite thing.
There was some sort of assembly of their accomplices this afternoon. I was placed in solitary confinement for the duration of the event. I could hear the noises and smell food. I overheard that my confinement was due to the power of allergies. I must learn what this means and how to use it to my advantage.
5 p.m. Dinner! My favorite thing.
Today, I was nearly successful in an attempt to assassinate one of my tormentors by weaving around his feet as he was walking across the room. I must try this again tomorrow, but maybe at the top of the stairs.
7 p.m. I got to play ball. My favorite thing.
I am finally convinced that all the other prisoners here are flunkies and snitches. The dog receives special privileges. What in the world? He is regularly released and seems to be more than willing to return. He is obviously a little slow.
8 p.m. Wow! I watch TV with the people. My favorite thing.
That bird must be an informant. I've observed him communicating regularly with the guards. I am convinced that he reports my every move.
11 p.m. I'm sleeping on the bed. That is my favorite thing.
My captors decided to arrange protective custody for the bird at night in some elevated cell, so I guess he is safe. For now.
Dogs and cats, dogs and cats,
Oh!
living together. Dogs and cats, sharing a home. Dogs and cats, living together. Dogs and cats are my favorite thing.
I want to turn this guy loose. He just became a lifelong friend if he knows John Prine's songs. So, have at her, Al.
Thanks, Bruce. This was one of the first songs I wrote growing up, I've had some close friends, and we probably stretched things a little bit too far a time or two, and we made out all right. And their names are Mike and Larry, and we were in a fishing boat in Minnesota, and this is a true story. And I had just learned how to play a few years before that, and they didn't mind me practicing in front of them. And I'm not much of a fisherman, but I can drink beer pretty good. And I was just kind of wondering how long we were going to stay out and fish when there was a perfectly good lounge probably a couple miles away. And they made me stay out there all day, so I put them through me writing this song. And it's about growing up. Getting older and I'm looking kind of rough. My body's weakened and I think I've had enough. Drinking and fighting and staying out all night. I guess I better grow up and start living it right. Yeah. Been out in it just to play the game. From acting real cool to borderline insane. But the rules keep changing and I just can't get them right. I guess I better grow up and start living it right. Yeah. Now just think how boring that good life might be. No drinking and swearing and acting like me. So knock off your guilt trips and your perfect hindsight. I'm not gonna grow up and start living it right. No, no. Cause that good life might be fine for your soul, not mine. I'm getting older and I'm looking kind of